Welcome everyone, it's Vapor Strikemar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. I'm going to try to climb the Doom Tower. And hopefully we'll stop getting barraged by banner ads. Let's summon an Ancient, see what happens. Anything good? That pretty much sums up everything. But we can try another one. This idiot again. Any of these any good at all? Of course not. Of course not. There's no use in me pulling the other ones. What even were the summons? Yeah, like I thought. Again, there's no point of me pulling anything more than that. There just isn't. That pretty much sums up this event. If I wasn't going to get the, ones I wanted from that, we're done. We're done with that. All right, yeah, we're going to continue to rise up the tower. I also have to raise some more food because we've got a problem. I've got to get Spirit Host to 6-star because I need a cleanser, and I need one to be strong, because without that we're gonna have a problem. What kind of resist do you have, lady? What the frick frack? Double Arbiter is going to be very annoying to deal with. In fact, this is going to be so annoying that I need an Armiger here. Like, we do need an Armiger. Straight up. Because without an Armiger, if we don't have a block revive in here, this is going to be a nightmare. This is just going to straight up be a nightmare. Because I need either a Mortu Macabre or an Armiger. Because what Mortu Macabre is going to do is Mortu Macabre is going to allow me to block revive, which here is going to basically be mandatory. So we're going to, in order to block revive, we're going to want to focus on one target. Get them into the threshold, and then have Armiger come in. See? That's what he's there for this specifically. He will turn meter control a target, but his real purpose is to stop revivers. That's what his purpose is. Because they have a lot of them. That's what Armiger is here for. See? each time we get a block revive, it permanently whittles them down. There's a reason I raised an Armiger specifically for this tower. Was for his one essential skill to climb Doom Tower. Because every Doom Tower team needs to have a way to block revive. Without an ability to block revive, you won't be getting up this tower very far. You just won't. Because you will eventually need that ability. Even if you can't get it from the initial shards, you get an Armiger, you raise the Armiger. If you can't, that's why you raise Armiger. That's the ultimate reason. Because he is the easy to get block revive champ, and he can control turn meter. But the block revive is the skill that is uncommon in most champions. So yeah, you'll want to keep your eyeballs peeled. But yeah, Armiger is my block revive MVP. He's the one that does the dirty work of that. The key with the block revive is to get them low enough. But they have problems. Get them low. Block revive. Methodically, slowly, and painfully deny them the ability to revive. That's the key here. All right. Yep, that's what we needed here. The block revive tech. This is why you need more to an Armiger. This is why. Granted, I have to try to... I have to try to protect Armiger. The whole point here is to get Armiger to survive. So that if Armiger can survive long enough, and they can take enough burns, we can get one of them low. And the second we get them low is when we start to block revive. I'm just starting with one at a time because this is going to be a long slog here. This is not going to be a quick floor. In fact, this floor is practically impossible without block revive. You literally must need it. Like this, it's not block revive is not optional in Doom Tower. You do need it. Doesn't matter what kind. It doesn't matter if it's an Armiger or whatever it is. If you don't have a block revive, your chance of beating this tower is practically zero. Because if the spider doesn't cause you issues with the, because you have HP burn. This will. These waves will. Because you won't have the ability to stop them from rezzing each other constantly. It just will not happen. Like you won't be able to get a definitive victory versus them. This is what I mean. Not only do you have to block revive them, but you have to block revive them definitively. Like, if you don't block revive them, the battle will never end. This is the kind of battle that's like that. But yeah, Armiger's the one that I'm protecting the most because he's the one that has to do that. What you just saw there, he has to do that, and he has to do that to multiple targets. I mean, decreased max HP helps, but that's not going to stop them because they're just going to keep rezzing until you block their revive. This is absolutely necessary. You'll also want something to keep Armiger alive. If your gear won't keep Armiger alive, you need to keep Armiger alive. The AI will also automatically revive people unless you block revive them. So that's something worth noting. There we go. Now, this one's a little different. This one, you're going to want decreased defense. You're going to want decreased defense, and you're going to want shields and destroy gear. So we'll see how this goes. This is beyond the usual. Okay, so the one we're going to want to keep alive this time is... Yeah, we're going to want to take him out. Yeah, we're going to want to take these ones out early. Just in case. You either want to take them out early or late. Because if you don't focus down the Centurions, either focus them or leave them for last, they will blow your brains out. Because what they do is they swap your health if you leave them alone. Which is not something you want them to do, let me tell you. Doesn't matter what team comp you have, they will swap your health. So you have to either priority focus them or leave them alone to try to avoid giving them the opportunity to be at a health deficit for an extended period of time. It took me a long time to figure out why or how this worked, but I figured it out. This was back in the day. I couldn't figure out how to get past the Centurions. Now here is a little bit different. So you're going to want to lash. You're going to want to put that. Let's get another provoke on them. Let's get a decreased defense. I want to take these Krisks out if I can. Try to burn them. It's not that easy to take out a Krisk. Because Krisk is a very annoying enemy. Now, one thing we have on our side here is we got some HP burn and got some decreased max health and a decreased defense. So that's going to help. We're going to actually want to focus these Krisks because they're basically holding their whole team up. So if you kill the Krisks off, the rest of them don't have as big of a deal. Say, we're weakening these Krisks. So we take the Krisks out, the rest of it's child's play. But until we take the Krisks out, we are going to experience some severe issues. We're going to want to focus him down. All right, good. Because the main thing is to either get him there or get him last. Because there's no way to shield his health swap. Can't stun him either. This could be a problem. I want to try to pressure him as hard as I can. If I can help it, I want to provoke him. Or decrease his turn meter. All right, we got him. Okay, triple Krisks. Here we go. Lash him. Put that there. Krisk is very annoying unless you have blocked buffs or decreased defense. You need one or the other. Because otherwise, you're going to get screwed. You need one of those to stop Krisk. It's just a fact of life. It's also a fact of life that you have to try to get rid of the outrageous number of Krisks. I think we're in a bit of a pickle here. Okay, we're definitely in trouble now. Alright, we're going to have to deal with these Krisks. It's not going to be easy. There's a reason why a lot of whales frop at the mouth when it comes to Krisk. because he's incredibly powerful. We can just take one of these Krisks out. That'll be great. I'm pretty sure Vergus can solo this, but it's going to be a very difficult and painful journey. This is really annoying. Okay, I don't want to do it this way. I don't want to do it this way. All right. So, what we're going to want, instead of Scylla the Drakes, we're going to want someone who blocks buffs. We're going to want someone who can cut defense up real nice. Or maybe increase attack with Spirit Host later when we get her up to par. She needs to get to rank 6 though with the Stitch into the tower. It's getting to not be optional. Okay, one thing I like about having Vizier in this is I can see that Vizier might be able to we don't want to keep him alive with that. Because this will help keep the defense buff on him. See, healing reduction does not stop that fiend in that regard. And that's part of why I said about the focus order. Because neither block buffs nor other weird strategies, like specific, like you have to do it with strategy. Okay, this seemed good in theory, but bad in practice. All right. So, how are we going to want to approach this? Maybe this. Alright, so we're gonna want to do, we're gonna want to put that there, put that on there. Vizier their whole party. Go after the guy who just did that. Increases buff duration to Kingdom Come. Is generally what you want to do to them. Generally. Now, up here, we have some very annoying enemies. Alright, there we go. Get a block buffs up. Get a decreased defense. And if we can, okay, good. Now, the way we can destroy them with this goes like this. We go Vizier of Poisons, the whole lot of them. So now the whole lot of them are going to struggle. And now they are going to be the ones to take the debuffs. Unfortunately, in order to actually make this work, you need the Valerie for the shield. As without a shield, see, that gives us the block buffs. That stops, that shuts the Krisk down. That's how you want it. And then we can increase the duration of that buff. See, that's where the strategery of that champion you see the strategery here? Like, Vizier is a strategic weapon. If you get him, he's useful versus Krisk. Because not only does he block the buffs of the Krisk, he can increase whatever you had on the Krisk. Now let's focus one of these vermin at a time. Right? So, I'm going to try to get a burn on it. We're going to go for Master of Misery. Now, you might ask, what's the point of this? Notice the buffs he has on. Get the shield up. And then he increases that. This suddenly puts him in a vulnerable place. How vulnerable, might you ask? Likes this. As it blocks the buffs. Now, we put a decreased defense on the whole lot of them, and then we go to town on this Krisk. Because a Krisk without his buffs is a very sad Krisk. See what I mean? We may very well be able to clear the floor. It's not perfect. But as you can see, Vizier, although not at the full extent of his power, which I still have to upgrade his gear potentially, it's still good enough. Get the shield up. Get the shield up, and then get him with that. And then you go for him again. See, the block buff skill, even though he's dead, is still destroying these enemies. And therein lies the value of Vizier on top of extending debuffs. Because if you have one block, that's why Vizier is a counter to Krisk. Because Vizier shuts down the BS. Now this one's a bit different. We're going to actually want the block debuffs. And this is why we need to develop these two champs. That's why. See, they can't land anything with that. This is not going to be an easy battle. However, we do have a couple of things in our favor. For one thing, try as they might to do this, they're getting burned each turn. And also I get to increase attack. See, this keeps the provoke on them and controls them. Because if you can control these Darvis Jacks, they're going to have a much tougher time. That's the thing. They're going to have a much tougher time if you can dictate the narrative. And of course that nutbar always steals my buffs. Oh, of course they do. Because why not? Why the frick not? This does not mean I'm not going to rank 6 Spirit Host, because she gets a stat boost. They really want to kill him, don't they? The good news is that I think we will get to the end of this. Potentially. Yeah, we're going to be going for her specifically, because she's going to res their whole team. I really don't need that. The one thing I like about playing Drexthar in this is that the longer he lives, usually, the more of a menace he is to the enemy team. Because the more probability one of these burns is going to land on them, and it's going to continue to land on them, the burns, every single time. That damage adds up. You do know that. Allowing my other teammates to, like, execute them. See? You see what I mean? Especially when they keep attacking him with AoEs that keep allowing him to, you know, get burns. And there you have it. Oh, Sir Nix. Oof. I have an idea, though. I have an idea. But yeah, having decreased attack on their whole team is really good, by the way. Just want to point that one out. The reason I like putting this on them, by the way, is because not only is it there, but you can increase the duration of that burn and that block buffs, and eventually Vizier can spread it to the rest of the team, which in this case would be remarkably useful. This is not an easy tower to beat either, though. I'm going to try to distract them. Yeah, we're going to want that burn to be pretty bloody permanent. So we're going to try to get a burn on him. More importantly, we're going to try to get Master of Misery on him. Because Master of Misery, if it successfully landed the block buffs, would prevent him from getting off his unkillable, which would obviously be optimal and a good idea. Now, the reason I'm going full out aggression on Sir Nick is, yeah, he does that. But the good news is if we can keep him low health, when that expires, which will take a while, first we're going to provoke their whole party. And then we're going to put that on him. Say, now watch this. Not only do we now have the block buffs on him, I'll do you one better. So they'll keep attracting direct star, right? And then we increase the duration. And then we provoke the whole party, and they're all in a world of hurt. And the reason for it is that the Sir Nick is holding them up. So without the Sir Nick, they're much less defended. And they're much less able to do anything. Now the reason I'm not the reason I'm not going a squishier team is because the problem, as you may very well could tell, is that if you get anything squishier, typically you just die. And so that's part of the problem. Now, the first step is going to be a provoke, followed by a Master of Misery proc. We're going to want to focus down at least one Sir Nick. And then set the whole debuff on the entire enemy party. So basically, we're going to have to wait for this Sir Nick stuff to wear off. And then get all of them burning. And keep him as low health as possible. And then try to get a block buffs on there. And then increase the duration. If Vizier lives, which I'm hoping he does, and we kill these two Sir Nicks, we are going to be in relatively good shape. Because Sir Nick is the type of champion that once you kill him, it's like killing a Krisk. You gain a lot of prestige and power. The power you gain from killing Sir Nick or Krisk is massive. So that's something worth noting. Is mainly when you're fighting a team comp, you also want to ask yourself, who is the most important member? And often, sometimes it is the defense. It is someone like a Krisk or a Sir Nick. Because they're the reason that no one will ever die. But if you remove that reason, suddenly you're able to tease apart their team. Because you often want these block buffs. You want that. Now, we're going to do this. And then in the next episode, we're going to continue to go up this tower. Yeah, we're going to want to put that there. Provoke the lot of them. Now we're going to spread that. And then we're going to want to go for the one that didn't get the buffs. Because that's the dangerous one. Now, the reason I'm trying to cut this off is because I still have another 5 floors more to go. And from here on out, the floors get a lot more difficult. When I say a lot more difficult, I'm not jesting. The highest I've ever been was floor 70. So, it stands to reason that it's going to be very difficult for me to get past floor 70. Because, see, past floor 60, things get very sticky. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those buffs there. And then we're going to vizier them soon. We're going to vizier the whole lot of them. See, now they all take nasty amounts of buffs. Now they can't have access to their buffs. See, them not having access to the buffs is huge. Like, the block buffs, this is basically the equivalent of Mortu Macabre almost, in terms of power. At least his block buffs part. And healing reduction. So although I don't have a Mortu, I have somebody who's just as useful in this regard, if not better. And then we can combine it. So yeah, we can get rid of these Sineshas without too much of a hassle. It's still a hassle. This is still a terrible hassle to the point where I can only record 5 floors. Can't record 10 at a time anymore. Before, 10, like, you could go 10 floors at a time and leap, and it was fun to do that. Now it's like every floor counts. Every floor is nearly impossible to clear as we get closer and closer to the top of the tower. We're not even talking about, ugh. We're not even talking about what happens on Doom Tower Hard. Because there is a Doom Tower Hard, and I haven't attempted it yet. Eventually I will. But it's going to take a while. What is the CD on this shit? Like, really? Like, what the fudge? Okay, you know what? I know this is going to be against my instincts. But we're going to have to kill that. We're going to have to get her out of the picture. Get these sky touches out of the picture. Because I cannot make any progress until we get the sky touched out of here. There we go. Trying to get the sky touched out of the picture. Because I'm thinking that's what's stopping me from making that progress. Why is she so tanky? She doesn't even have any buffs on her, man. There, take some block buffs, you vermin. That should help. That should help loads. Not to mention heal reduction. In the next episode, we're gonna be continuing up the tower. Oh, you gotta be effing with me. Are you telling me I have to use Skinwalk? Oh my god. I don't even know what's on this floor. But this will be my personal best right here. I kid you not. In the next episode.